Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be looking at how do you solve linear inequalities. All right, your 30-second review starts now. Here's what you should know before you start this lesson. You should already know how to solve equations. So similar to this problem that you see up on the screen, you should know how to do the opposite, do the inverse operations, okay, do it on both sides. If you do not know how to do that, please do not attempt this lesson. You're going to have a really hard time. If you need a refresher on this topic, I will link a video in the description below. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So up on the screen, there are 4 linear inequalities. And the good news is that you solve linear inequalities the same exact way that you solve equations. Okay, that problem that we just saw a second ago, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the solutions for these 4 problems. There is one special extra rule when solving inequalities. All right, and so here's the work. Can you find the one extra step or rule that you have to follow when solving inequalities? Go ahead and pause the video while you look, and in just a second here, I will reveal the answer. All right, now that you've had time to take a look at this, let's take a look together. So what hopefully you noticed is that in this problem and in this problem, the inequality in the answer has changed direction, okay, from where it started at the beginning of the problem. Whereas in this problem and this problem, it did not change direction, okay? And so the question is, how do we know when the inequality flips or changes direction? And the answer, maybe you figured it out, is that in this problem, you divide by a negative number, and in this problem, you multiply by a negative number. And in these 2 middle problems, you do not do that, right? There's multiplication and division, but they're not by negative numbers. So let's put this into words. When solving linear inequalities, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality flips direction, changes direction. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it is time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 3 problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, here is the work. You should have ended up with w is greater than or equal to 5. You did not have to flip the inequality there because you did not multiply or divide by a negative. For the second problem, you should have ended up with c is greater than or equal to 10. You did have to flip here because you had to divide by a negative 1. And for the last problem, here is the work. You should have ended up with g is greater than or equal to negative 12. You did have to flip here because you had to multiply by a negative 6. All right, that is it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.